Hello and welcome to the King's Forum podcast show. I have a very special guest, Anna. Hi, Anna.
Hello.
Welcome back. Nice to see you again.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Anna is a self-love and empowerment coach, and Anna's going to talk about kind of her journey and how she got to this point. Anna, how did it all start? How did your journey start?
Oh, wow. Okay. So when I was born, I didn't know that I would become a self-love and empowerment coach. Let's say that. So I was sort of, okay, I'm going to try to squeeze it all in a
that's fine.
Smaller story. It started, before I started my coaching business as a self-love and empowerment coach, I used to work in the retail. I am still part-time employed, but due to the lockdown, I am home since December. I am a makeup artist also, and I've been working in the makeup industry for, I think, 8 or 9 years. I don't have the number now, right? And so I would work in a retail store, in a mall, selling these beautiful makeup products, talking mostly with women, putting makeup on. And in 2018, I had it's my spiritual awakening, where I was questioning my life and was like, is this it? And I had this feeling that I am meant to do something bigger than this, not just serve women by applying makeups on their skin, but like helping these women really feel more confident. Because what I felt was frustrating is that whatever product I would sell these women, they would come back after a couple of weeks and be like, oh, I feel so ugly. I feel this and this. I need this product. I need to buy this. And I was like, no, you're a gorgeous woman, because I believe that every human being is just beautiful, just as they are. And that frustrated me. So I went on this journey of searching for my purpose. And it took me 1.5 years. The first lockdown last year, March 2020, opened up the door and led me to these courses, to my certifications, to starting my coaching business. And that's where I now find my fulfillment, because I can finally empower mostly women to step into their inner goddess, like into their confidence, and empower them and radiate it from the inside out, which is more sustainable and more beautifully. So that's the short story of that.
So being a makeup artist, and it kind of helped you discover your path, because you were looking at these women that you were helping. You were thinking they were looking at materialistic goods for their fulfillment, when you have to start from the inside and start there first before you can achieve real fulfillment in your life. And it's good it kind of directed you that way. Could you talk about self-love? What is really self-love all about?
My definition of self-love is loving yourself radically, like everything about yourself. Also the shadow parts, the things you want to hide, is your inner wounds, whatever maybe happened to you, that all belongs to you. And many people want to push maybe bad experiences aside and just, suppress it, repress it. But it's the moment where you integrate it and say, this is part of my story. It doesn't mean that it identifies me, it doesn't give me any identification, but this is also part of me, and integrating it and then loving all of these parts, not just your light, the positive things, but also things that affected you in a negative way, in an unhealthy way. They all belong to you. And that's the moment where you really love yourself truly. And it's a daily work. You have to choose to love yourself every day, every morning.
So it's self-acceptance.
It's radical self-acceptance. Yeah. Not just picking the beautiful parts, like all of yourself.
Because we do that as human beings. We only show you the good stuff. Because we're ashamed or embarrassed or afraid of showing the things that people may not accept or may not like about us. Because a lot of us as human beings, we want to be accepted, we want to be liked, we want to be loved. And you can only really be loved truly if you love yourself. So, you know, when you talk about that whole thing about if you don't love yourself, no one will love you. And for me, that's about the self-love. And as you said, radically, you know, accepting yourself for who you are, because nobody's perfect. So
Exactly.
we all carry, whether it's baggage, whether it's trauma, you know,
Yeah.
from previous relationships or things that happened to us as a child, and we
Yeah.
bring that into adulthood. So it's about that. And as you said, it's a daily work, because
Yeah.
that's what I don't think I'm good at. I would do it on some days, but not. And then because then you realize stuff when you start having that self acceptance and self realization, you start realizing what's affecting your moods and
Mm-hmm.
what's impacting kind of, you know, when you're down and when you're not quite on it and you're thinking, what's up with me today? And then you start thinking about, okay, maybe I didn't, you know, the things that make me happy, I'm not doing them, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
accepting that I'm going to have these downs and I'm not always going to be this bubbly and bright person. But and that's when I think about self-love, is in those moments when I realize that actually I'm not loving myself and accepting myself enough today, to hence that my mood has dropped and I feel a bit negative within me. And then I start searching for why, and working on that, because it is a daily process. It's not so simple as, oh yeah, I'll do it once a week and I'll be fine. it,
Yeah.
it's a constant thing. And as you were saying earlier in a conversation we had, you're evolving all the time as a person.
Yeah.
The more you find out
Abs-
about yourself and accept yourself, you realize that, you know, you're becoming a new an improved version of yourself.
yes. Because it's in those, you need time to reflect, you know, you need time to reflect. And if you have to be self-aware
Mm.
and really brutally honest to yourself, even if you have these moments where you know limiting beliefs comes in, or you feel in a specific mood, like we're not 24/7 happy human beings, you know, we get to experience the whole range of emotions, and that's totally fine. That's about being human. But you have to be self-aware of that, and then choose, ask yourself, like you're doing it, okay, why do I feel like this? Like, where have I neglected myself? Maybe I was eating not the best things in the last
No,
days or weeks. Maybe I haven't moved my body. Did I drink enough water? Maybe I need to reach out to someone, a friend or stuff, because I need some, you know, some social contacts. So that self-awareness and that self-love, like really listening to yourself, asking yourself, okay, what does my body need? What does my soul or my heart need? And what can I do in order to change this?
definitely. Could you talk about limiting beliefs? Because actually, let's mention before that. Can we mention your podcast you have?
Oh yeah, so I have, my podcast show is called Unleash Your Self Love. And yeah, it's all about, I'm talking about unleashing yourself, talking about mindset, personal growth, my type of spirituality, self-love definitely, and empowering, and really doing the inner work.
Yeah, it's a great podcast to all the viewers who watch this. One that definitely resonate with me was about limiting beliefs. Could you talk more
Thank
about
you.
limiting beliefs, Anna?
Yes, so limiting beliefs are, we all have them. And limiting beliefs, the roots of them are, they were planted in us when we were a child. Most of our limiting beliefs were planted before our seventh year.
All right.
Um, yeah, anything about money, we learn from our parents, whether it would be good, you know, or bad.
Mm.
Or about health, about food, about love, relationships, career. For example, I thought I had this limiting belief that having lots of money attracts bad people, because we want, my dad is an entrepreneur, so we were having a really good childhood. I'm really grateful for that. But one day, two men dressed all in black and not looking nice were ringing at the door, and I opened up the door, and I was like 6 or 7 years old. My brother was with me. He's 3 years younger than I, so he was like 4. And these two men were asking for my dad, but we were alone at home. And I just saw this gun, look, you know, stuck in the jeans of this man. and they were like, okay, we'll come back. And what I later on heard when my dad called the police and stuff, that these men wanted to get money from my dad. So that was for me a limiting belief. If you have lots of money, bad people will come and try to steal it from you. And we also got robbed in our house. So, you know, so I had to get rid of these limiting beliefs. And that's with many areas, like what you think about relationships, about your health, about also other people's success and stuff. It's all, most of them were really planted in you when you were a child. And then there are also some incidents when you're a teenager and adulthood, of course. So you have to be aware that these limiting beliefs are not your identity. They're not true. They are just stories you kept repeating to yourself. And that's when you also manifest them into your reality. Like when
Yeah.
that's why it's so important to really let go of these limiting beliefs, to find out the roots. Ask yourself, are they really true? Is it true that if you have money, you're gonna get robbed every time, or you're in danger? And then I had to look up for successful people and see, like, no, they're not more in danger as other people, and you can actually do beautiful things when you have money. You can help those people who are in need and stuff. So it's really about finding the roots, upgrading them, or even letting them go, and questioning those. You have to question your thoughts, like your ego, your limiting beliefs. You think they're trying to keep you safe, but it's actually not. So you have to call them out. You have to do this work, and really look for other examples. That's so important. That's why I would always choose mentors or a coach,
I hear
to
that.
find examples in other people and go like, okay, no, this person actually is doing really fine, and he's still alive and he's happy, or she is happy. So there are other examples, and what I experience in my life is not the only truth.
Yeah. So with they're basically, our limiting beliefs are stopping us from achieving what we want to achieve, because
Yes.
what basically limiting our growth, our success, because
Yeah.
of what they're doing is it's almost like saying to ourselves, we're not good enough. We're,
Mm-hmm.
we're not
Yeah.
worthy of this, and it's that constant voice that we hear. And as you say, from before the age of 7, did you say, we have these thoughts and they're engraved in us, and a lot of it we have to unlearn as well, and it could be traits that are negative, but that we need to unlearn in order to move forward, and
Yes.
find a better path, and a more positive path, because those limiting beliefs don't ever do us any good. They're just stopping.
Absolutely.
They stop us
Yeah.
from achieving our goals and moving forwards and evolving as people. So that's why it really resonated with me, because I had a lot of those as a kid, the limiting beliefs of what I didn't believe I could achieve as an adult, because whether it was about my race, and kind of that was always going to hold me back, not having the opportunities, because I'm not from, I'm not Caucasian. I don't have white privilege. And there was a lot of that as well, a lot about race and things like that, and strength for character as well. And thinking I had to be a particular way as a black man, and as a young black boy, and kind of all of these stereotypes that you're always wary of, and having to feel I had to be a certain way in certain environments, or I won't be accepted. So not
Mm-hmm.
being true to myself, and not trusting that, I need to be who I am, and, I need to put my authentic self forward, rather than fit in a particular role that people expect me to be in. So yeah, there was a lot I was looking at. And I think with age and experience, and self-confidence and self-awareness, that you start looking at, what's the most important thing, and that's being true to yourself and being authentic, being your authentic self. And those limitations are just limiting, and they just hold you back. It's time
Yeah.
to let go and move on, and that's the only way you're really gonna have true fulfillment, and live the life that you really want to live. So yeah, it made me resonate. It definitely resonated with me, that episode on limiting beliefs, and made me self-reflect, which I do a lot anyway. I'm a very self-reflective person, And I look
Yeah.
at, especially with this podcast and stuff like that, the negative feedback I've received, you know,
Mm.
it's really, it challenged me because I procrastinated I procrastinated for a long time, before I actually put this out there, because it was putting myself out there.
Yeah.
Hearing, especially from the first episodes, is hearing negative feedback that
Oh,
that shook me, because I was like,
oh,
I'm just starting. I'm not no specialist yet. I'm learning here. So, but it helped me self-reflect, and I'm grateful I received it. And I
yes.
saw that person, I was grateful to hear negative stuff about what I was trying to do, because it makes you look at that and find your truth and find your real meaning behind what you're doing, and your purpose. So that was great, and I have it on my wall. I always look at the negative feedback every time on my wall to inspire me to go on
Okay.
and do better, and be the best I can. So I didn't take that feedback and say, yeah, I'm going to do exactly what they want me to do, because this is my path. And I think that's where you have to be very clear, because this is my journey. Now someone else can say, well, why aren't you doing this, and why aren't you doing that, and you should have done it this way, and it can be so much better if you do this. But that would be the way they would do it.
Yeah.
That's not your way. And I think that's the most important thing I learned from the negativity, was that you need to find your path. No matter what people say, it needs to be, you need to stay true to you and authentic, and
Yes.
do what you feels right. And it may not be instant success, but I'm looking at the long game, and I'm looking at, of being around for a while. So I'd rather look back and say, look at that. I trusted in myself and my journey and
Yeah.
my experience, rather than doing it because someone else has said I should do it that way. So yeah, I learn a lot from negativity as well, not just the good feedback. But the good feedback keeps me going as well when I have my moments of self-doubt.
Hmm.
That imposter syndrome comes up, like, why am I
Yeah.
doing this? I'm not,
Yeah.
why am I doing this? I'm no expert. I never studied journalism. Why am I in media? What's going on? I don't, and all this stuff, that whole self-doubt. And the good feedback comes in, and just at those moments, whether it's the universe speaking or what have you, just at those moments I start doubting and saying, why, should I really be doing this anymore? I have some good feedback. I get a message on my YouTube or what have you, on Instagram, saying, "Look, I love that episode. Please keep on going. What you're doing, you're
Yeah.
making a difference." And then I'm like, yeah, let me hang on to that. That's the importance, that I'm reaching out to people and connecting with people and spreading awareness, and that's what I wanted to do. That's the reason why I started this platform. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to. That's so important. If this imposter syndrome comes in, the self-sabotaging belief, I actually screenshot every positive comment, every positive
Mm,
interaction. I screenshot them, put them in a folder, and whenever I
I did.
do something which scares me and which is out of my comfort zone. For example, this podcast, I was scared as, as shit,
It's
because
sweet. It's all right.
it's okay. I was like, can I?
You can.
I was scared. I was really scared because English is not really my mother tongue.
Really? I
German,
couldn't tell.
okay.
Good. I couldn't tell.
But you see this limiting belief, like I shouldn't do this in English because I live in Germany, I should do it in German. So of course I was scared, like what would the people tell me who are English native speakers? Would they, put some negative feedback? But nothing of this happens. And if so, I always know that when people say negative stuff about you, it's always their own
That's right.
insecurities
Yeah.
projected on you. So it's never about you. I always share, send them love and be like, okay, you are insecure. I'm sorry for you feeling like that, but I'll just keep doing me. So celebrate your positive comments, put them in a folder and always look at them.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah, I love that idea. I love that idea. Definitely. But it's always that way, isn't it? That whole projecting their own insecurities onto you, and making you feel like, oh yeah, maybe you're not doing, and making you question yourself. But actually, that person questioning themselves, and they're probably looking at you and saying, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have
Yeah.
made that step, and he's made that
Yeah.
step, and
Yeah.
maybe it's not the way I want to do it, but I'm going to let him know this isn't right and he should be doing
Yeah.
this, rather than saying, oh yeah, oh I see you made it that angle. It's their journey, isn't it? And that's what I always say about when people judge others. That's
Mhm.
your journey and that's your space, and you know that's what you want to create for you. So it may not be
Yeah.
something that I would have done, but so what?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I take my path, you take yours, or you may
Yeah.
do something similar. Whatever it is, I don't think it's for us to be, oh yeah, well you shouldn't be doing that type thing. Why shouldn't you? If that's
Yeah.
your, it's your channel, it's your it's your space, it's your journey. You know, or just for me, when if I don't have anything positive to say, then I don't say anything.
Exactly. That's the best.
That's how I do it. If I'm going to be negative or whatever about someone, which I don't like to be, so that's
Yeah.
why I don't say anything, or I try and say or put encouraging words and say, look, well done for doing it, because that's a big step.
Hmm.
I'm proud of you,
Absolutely.
which I got when I first did it, and where I was like so nervous about doing it was from close friends. They said, look, great that you've done it. I'm so proud that you've made the step. And I was like, wow, I didn't expect to hear that from certain people because they don't normally express their feelings towards me. So that was
Yeah.
hearing that, and that kept me and encouraging me to do more. And you have some knocks as well along the way. And this is the thing about putting yourself out there. That road's never going to be smooth. It's never going
No.
to be a smooth journey to where you want to get to. There's gonna, you know, you may go off road. You know, you may get some flat tires and have to put some tires on. You know, you may have to fill up that engine and have to stop and have a break for a bit and before you continue
Yeah.
that journey. But whatever, you need to realize it's a part of the process, and you can only learn from that, and you can only evolve if you go through that. So I don't
Yeah.
think there's much learning from smooth sailing and this
No.
perfect journey to the top. You know, you have to have these bumpy roads because there's learning to be had from it. So that's how I look at life, and I look at kind of this new experience I'm on, and meeting
Hmm.
people like yourself, Anna. It's nice from all over the world, and we can share our experiences and we can all grow together.
Yes. Yeah. We have to learn to embrace
Oh,
failures and mistakes. Like there is nothing wrong to do a mistake unless you're a doctor, but like on our path, there's nothing wrong with, doing mistakes. And there, like, perfectionism is an illusion. It
yeah,
doesn't exist.
that's exactly
It's
it.
made up. And if you say to yourself, I'm a perfectionist, I am sorry to tell you that you are just sabotaging yourself. You are just using this as an excuse to never start putting yourself out there, to start whatever you're wanting to. If you keep saying, I need to do this perfectly and I'll just wait and hold on, no, it's just an excuse. So I always say, do it messy, embrace the mistakes, and just, they're all lessons to learn from. And you can only learn by doing as many mistakes as
Oh,
possible.
100%, definitely. And that, as you said, being a perfectionist is a limiting belief.
Yeah, I used to be one, hardcore. Since last year, I was like, no, I have to learn more courses, let me get me more certificates before I start taking in the first client. And then I recognized, oh my gosh, I'm just holding myself back. And, I just jumped right into it. And since then, I've been working with so many beautiful clients, and my business is evolving. I am growing since I let go from this perfectionism.
Yeah, that limiting belief that things had to be so right before you can move forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the same. I was the same as well. I was taking ages to put stuff together. Like, just put it out there, man. You know, worst
Yeah.
worst of all, you can take things off and start again or do whatever. Just put it out there. That's your start. You know, you need to take that big step first of all, and then the rest, the rest of the stuff we'll sort out along the way. You know, we'll sort
Yeah.
those messes and tidy that up along the way. But you take the big step, and then you can find yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it.
You can just learn when you're doing it. You can't, it's always this example where you could read a whole book about swimming, but once you jump into this pool, like, you have to move your body and do it, get into action.
And practice makes perfect, doesn't it? The more you practice something, the theory side
Yeah,
is just the theory side, but you need to actually do it. The actions is where the learning comes from. Is that
absolutely.
is actually do
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I was so scared when I had my first client, I was like, I can't do this. And
Well,
she is
imagine.
much older than me. How can I guide her and be a coach and mentor for her? But then after that work, after the first session already, I was like, I am able to do this. Like, I got this. We got breakthroughs, and she's growing and doing the inner work. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have never thought of that if I wouldn't have take the leap and just go for it and believed and trusted in myself.
Yeah, you'd have still been just a makeup artist in a department.
Yeah. So I was like, can I do this? I've been just having small talks with women, but really doing this deep coaching. And yeah, since then I'm like getting better with each session, each client, and getting better with this Instagram stuff and my podcast and editing and everything. Yeah, and it's so much fun. This journey needs to be celebrated because that's what's all about, like going on this journey and fulfilling whatever fulfills your heart.
Definitely, and it's self growth for you. So it's a two in one, isn't it? You're helping others, but you're helping yourself as well.
Yeah. Yes, I can only help my clients when I also invest in myself first. Like everything I am guiding them through is because I've experienced and I learned it first and applied it. And now I have the tools and methods for them to do the same.
Definitely. Anna, thank you very much for your time. It's been an
You're
absolute
welcome.
pleasure getting to know you more and your journey, and hope to see you soon and have a lovely day.
Thank you.
See you soon. All right, bye.
See you soon.